Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the week once again. Actually, it's the first time for this season that it's that time of the week, because we are into the first week of the spring 2026 anime season. Mind you, one of the things on this week's top 5 is from last season, but that's because we had one thing that just couldn't keep it in its pants for a solid 13 weeks. And we'll get to it. This season so far, we're having a lot of high contenders though. And a lot of things that I don't know why we have so many 5-minute episode shows. It's just an oddity to me. But we've also got some great isekai, some weird isekai as well. Because we have things like actually I'm pretty sure it is just called a regular isekai, where people are reincarnating as ribs. We have people negging girls, because apparently, hey, this is the second prettiest girl in my class, is an anime name this season. But we're not here to talk about them, we're here to talk about the best of the best. So we're going to kick it on off with Snowball Earth. This is a terrible depiction for it, but there are barely any photos up for this anime. This is a mech anime of sorts, because technically there is a mech, but by the end of episode 1 there might not really be a mech anymore. We'll have to see how it pans out. This is a anime about space kaijus coming to Earth and attacking the planet. And right when Earth gets messed up by it, a doctor makes a exploding robot that doesn't want to explode, because why would you give that sentience? But his son hops into it. But that's fine, because it would take a genius to be able to pilot this. And hey, it turns out his son is an accidental genius. But the reason why his son goes in there and basically stays in there for the rest of his adolescence is he's super socially anxious. So he hops in and stays in the robot because, hey, I don't have to talk to actual people when I'm in the robot. And I mean, I can relate to that a little bit too well, but he gets into space, gets into the climactic fight when they're going to just shoot a giant Tesla laser thing, it's going to shut down all of the space kaijus, and it doesn't work. And then the ship that he gets brought over in gets blown to smithereens, and he gets shot away in the head of the robot, or the escape capsule, I think it's actually meant to be, while the robot itself blows itself up so that he can have a chance to get back to Earth. Doesn't get back till 8 years later when Earth is a snowball. That's all we got so far. But so far, it's been mechs, kaiju fights, and an ending to an episode I never thought I'd see, because I never expected that ship to blow up. But also, if it didn't, there wouldn't really be any point in the rest of the show, because that first episode kind of speed ran a lot of anime. Yeah. After it, we have Nippon Sangoku, which I'm really surprised I enjoyed so much. Mostly because this is the most sepia-colored shit I've seen in ages. And it's so well done, because it is another post-apocalyptic scenario, but nuclear war happened all around the world, and Japan is just where all of the refugees fled to, which is an awesome concept as it is. But we have our main character and his wife who just want to live the simple life, but his wife is very brave and he is very good at speaking. His wife just goes over and interrupts this flogging that you can see right next to me, and in response she kind of gets necked for it. Sorry, I should explain. They're also in the three warring states period, which I believe is what Son Goku means. Could be very wrong, but I believe so. If I am, let me know down below. This is being organized by a tax collector, which, I mean, fair enough, but also, it's not tax time, so why are we being taxed? Which is what she brings up to him. And her husband, after being attempted to be handed her head, talks the lord of the area into, hey, my wife's already gone, but one of the reasons you said that she was killed was because she called you fat, which fair. But it wasn't actually her that called you fat. It was your tax collector that inferred that she was talking about you. She said the fat guy. She never named you. She could have been talking about any fat guy. So he gets killed too. And now we're on a mission to take down the government of Japan to make it a place where his wife would want to be. And as soon as he starts enacting his plan, the world starts getting more colorful. Kind of like Zom 100, but if Zom 100 was done with watercolor instead of acrylics. I don't know how much of this I'm going to enjoy, but if the rest of the show is anything like the first episode, I'm going to love it. In number 3, we have Demons of the Shadow Realm. This is made by the mangaka who made Full Metal Alchemist. For anyone that's going to ask the silly question, she's the mangaka, not the one that made the anime, so it doesn't matter which Full Metal we're talking about. But this is the story of I believe a clan living in a village on top of a mountain. And for the most part, it seems very much like, hey, we're dealing with a feudal Japanese society. Old mate over here is taking on pheasants to try and help feed the community. His brother's kind of a layabout. And for some reason, his little sister is in a cage in, like, that big-ass building in the background. But that's not quite right, because this village is feudal Japan. It's also protected by a barrier, but that barrier gets taken down, and there's a plane just flying over the top of you, like just a Boeing jet. And no, we're actually in modern day Japan, and now the military is coming into your village to hunt down your little sister and capture you. I don't know why exactly, but the really cool thing is that this world has, I believe they were called sides, where you can get 2 demon spirits that will work as your left and your right, or your up and your down, and they fight on your behalf and try and protect you. The first person we see with one, I cannot remember her name, but that's a pretty damn common thing for me. But she just goes, Gomu, 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 Gomu. Sorry, Gabu, 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 Gabu. And every time she gobos, something gets bitten in half. Because her spirit of spirits are top and bottom jaw. They just bite things. Because Gabu is onomatopoeia for biting in Japanese. That's why we get Gobumon. And we end up with old mate over here getting the left and right spirits that guard his entire town, who are just giants. And it is such a strong start to an anime. I don't know how it's going to go in the long run, because this is one of those, it's either going to go really well and have a long run of the show, or it's going to be a half-baked concept and it's not going to go well. The good thing for us is the history of this mangaka, because this mangaka does absolute bars, because you can't meet an anime fan that doesn't, even if they don't like Full Metal Alchemist, they respect Full Metal Alchemist, because it is just one of the peak shows that everyone needs to understand how much of an influence it's had on the anime world. So yeah, she gets a little bit of extra leeway over some other mangakas, but it does look like it's going to be a good show. In our number 2 slot, we have probably the thing that's going to cause the most controversy this season, Petals of Reincarnation. Mostly because, and I need to move my face right now, of that guy right there. Little dude with the swastika's. That is Adolf himself. Because that's the thing. So this show is essentially people can cut themselves with this knife, and they get the traits of a past self into themselves. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're just meh. And we have the greats versus the sinners, I believe they call them. So, like I said, and I hate the fact that I've got this exact positioning right here, but we've got people like Adolf. We've got, there was a guy named Fish who was just trying to go around slicing people up. I believe the main fight for the first episode was Lupin, as in Lupin the Third, the Great Thief, who had earth control powers for some reason. But our main guy has two arms. He has the left and the right arm, and I'm starting to see a pattern here. But the left arm steals things. He can steal anything that's inside of a container. So he first used it to steal. He sees somebody stealing a purse, he steals the things from inside the purse to get back door. Only to be told, hey, that bag's worth more than everything that was inside of it. I need to go get that guy. Stop getting such expensive bags, or hold on to them better. But his right hand can activate things. So one of the things he can steal from inside of a container is the talent given by the pedal. And if he takes that, he can then activate it and use the abilities from somebody else's. And he's decided, I don't want to be a great, I don't want to be a sinner. I want to be better than all of you, so everyone in the world recognizes my talent, because my brother was super talented and my family gave me crap for it, so now I've got to compensate. Where? But yeah, this is looking sick. The fight choreography was great in the first episode. I can't wait to see the next one. And last but not least is our holdover from last season. It's Fire Force Season 3's finale. It's the Fire Force finale because we became Soul Eater. And Jesus Christ, was this a hype fucking... we got to see small amounts of the in-between time from when Fire Force finishes to when Soul Eater starts. And this involves being shown that one of the pillars has now become a witch and is the progenitor of all other witches, mostly because she's lost her fire powers. All of them have lost their fire powers now, but she's just like, hey, I have other stuff I can do and I can sow some chaos. Excalibur is running around with Arthur because Arthur got down from space somehow. Death is floating around because Shinra created Death. And I don't mean like just some ambient personification. I mean Grim Reaper Death. And I love the fact that they use his early face for it. Because so many people just know like the cartoony Death of Soul Eater. But even in Soul Eater, we're shown Death when he was younger and a lot more vengeful. And his mask was sick. I kind of want to get it opposite, because I've got the cartoony Death tattooed on me. I want to get the other one tattooed opposite it, and I need to make a booking. But I digress. We also get to see the fact that the old Fire Force members are now going around and trying to stabilize the world, because there are a bunch of monsters. Because Shinra didn't know what went in the other places. He heard small flashes of what the world was before, but a lot of that probably was a lot of myth and legend. And because of that, there's dragons. There's other kinds of monsters just roaming around. And the Fire Force ex-soldiers are now they're buff as hell. Even compared to before. They've lost their fire powers. They've had other things that have compensated for it. They do not have Meister or weapon abilities, because that's not something that gets put in for a while. But they get to go around and just mess things up. In a positive way. And we, at the end of it, got to see a little glimpse of each of the main Meisters and Soul, because you can't not have Soul. But we get to see Mako as a little girl being read stories by her dad, which the only thing about it that I don't like is that they used an appearance for her dad that looks a lot more like her dad in Soul Eater. Like her dad, when he was the age she should have shown there, was basically just like a vagabond hippie. And I kind of wish they'd put the right appearance in there. Like, he was very much loose shirt, bun hair, just chilling out with everyone. Not what we got. But that's not even the part that got me. The part that got me, and I have made a video about this, was Death talking about making a humanoid Death as Death the Kid. He has a Zero. Like, he has a Death Kid that's a humanoid form, but we're just gonna sweep that under the rug, because Zero is now his own thing. It's a spoiler for an 18-year-old anime, 20-year-old manga, but still, it's its own thing. But that's gonna wrap up this week. That's gonna wrap up this season, plus a couple, starting the next one. Let us know down below what you've really enjoyed this week, and yeah, I'll see you on.